there and welcome. You're about to watch a Lakehead International live webinar. It is a great way to explore what Lakehead University is all about. In this session, you'll hear insights and stories from Lakehead professors, staff, and current students. While watching, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comment section below. For now, let's dive in.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. Thank you so much for joining today for yet another Lakehead Live session. My name is Hardika Narayankar, and I'm part of the international team at Lakehead University based in the Thunder Bay campus. So today we'll be discussing about the in-demand graduate programs at Lakehead Universities, what are the opportunities and the career paths. Okay, let's begin. So before we dive into it, let me just walk you through what we are going to be covering today. So we'll start with a quick welcome and welcome session overview, followed by a look at our graduate program options, and also have conversations with faculty members from each high demand programs that are being offered at Lakehead University. And then finally, we'll be opening the floor for a live Q&A to answer your questions. So with that, let's just kick things off with an overview of Lakehead University. We are a public university in Ontario, Canada, with 3 distinct locations, Thunder Bay, Aurelia, and a specialized STEM hub located in Barrie. But what sets Lakehead apart isn't just geography, it's a strong sense of community that we build here. So life at Lakehead goes far beyond sitting in classrooms or just showing up. It's about engaging. It's about connecting with the professors, with your peers, and also becoming a part of something big. So a highlight that makes Lakehead especially unique is our commitment to undergraduate research. So at many universities, research opportunities do not come until later in your degree or even during graduate school. So at Lakehead, students can dive into research as early as the first year, giving them a hands-on experience right from the beginning. Now, I would like to highlight few of our rankings, which we are proud of. So we are ranked top 3 in Canada for research in our category. Times Higher Education recognized as the #1 university in North America among schools with under 10,000 students. And we are consistently in the Maclean's top 5 in Canada in our category. So even though we are considered a smaller university, our impact in research and student achievement is anything but small. Another thing that students often talk about is the class size. So instead of sitting in big lecture halls with many people, with hundreds of people, Lakehead offers a much more personal learning experience, which is our student to faculty ratio is 15:1 in Thunder Bay and 13:1 in Aurelia, which means that you'll have the chance to really engage and ask questions and build strong connections. So with that, I would like to also highlight one more thing, which everyone is very curious about, which is the outcomes after graduation. So the numbers speak for themselves. So 96.2% of our graduates are working within 2 years, which is actually higher than the Ontario average of 94.1%. And that just tells us that our students leave here ready, confident, and well prepared. Now, before we begin, let's just talk about employment opportunities in Canada for a bit, which is as an international student, student enrolled in the post-secondary academic program, you are eligible to work while studying for up to 24 hours per week, allowing you to gain valuable Canadian experience and support your living expenses altogether. After graduation, Lakehead's degree program are eligible to be considered for the post-graduation work permit for up to 3 years, giving you the opportunity to build your career in Canada. And you may also receive extra points for your Canadian university degree when applying for permanent residency. Now, as you can see here, Lakehead University offers a wide range of graduate programs across multiple faculties. So these include business, natural resource management, health and behavioral sciences, engineering, education, law science, and science and environmental studies, and social sciences and humanities. We also have recently added the new Barrie STEM Hub, which expands our offerings even further. Now, if we move to this slide, you will see a full list of graduate programs across all faculties. And on our website, you can explore details such as programs, program structure, mode of delivery, intake terms, and other kind of key information that will help you make an informed decision that aligns with your academic and career goals. So our website is one of the best tools available to you as you explore graduate study options at Lakehead. Now, with that, we will be moving on to having discussions with most of our faculty members from high demand programs. So yeah, let's just begin with that.
So, hello everyone. I'm very happy to be joined by Dr. Kevin Brooks today, who's the administrative and analyst and also instructional designer and a student advisor in social justice studies at Lakehead University. Kevin works really closely with students across the academic and advising sides of the program. So he brings a practical student-focused perspective. And today we'll be talking about social justice graduate studies, what it looks like, who these programs are for, and where they can lead. So Kevin, I would like you to first introduce yourself if you have something to say before we begin our session today.
Yeah, thanks. I'm really excited to be here. I've been in this position for about 5 years now, and it's been really exciting to see the program grow. Right now, we have about 60 students in the program, and we hope to continue to invite students for the fall of 2026 and beyond.
Perfect. Thank you so much for that. So with that, I would like to ask you the first question for today, which is for students who may be completely new to this field, how would you introduce Lakehead's social justice graduate programs?
Yeah, social justice is a really interesting interdisciplinary field. That's the important thing to understand. And so that means that we draw on a variety of fields like political science, philosophy, indigenous learning, gender and women's studies, sociology. And all of those different perspectives are necessary to understand the complexity of the world, why we are having to talk about social justice and social injustices. And so that interdisciplinary approach is really exciting. It means that students are learning some new things as well as drawing on some of their knowledge from their undergraduate degrees.
That's a really great way to frame it, especially for students who might assume social justice is just purely theoretical, when in reality it just connects directly to the lived experience and real world issues. My next question to you is, can you give us an overview of the social justice graduate programs options at Lakehead and their main area of focus?
Yeah, so within our program, we actually have 4 streams. The most common stream is the coursework stream. So students come into our program, they take what we call 4 FCEs of courses. We have 2 required classes, a social justice theory and a social justice research methods, and then they choose electives after that. That's usually 6 electives. And that would get you a degree in doing the coursework stream. Some students come into us and they have an idea about a research project and they get to pursue that. That research project's worth 1 FCE, and so they spend usually sort of their last semester or even last 2 semesters working closely with a faculty member on a research project that they're excited about. We also have a really unique creative option. So students who come to us with a creative practice, that could be photography, it could be music, it could be writing, and they want to pursue social justice issues from a creative perspective. So much like the research stream, they would work closely with a faculty member or 2. They would develop a creative project related to a social justice issue, and they would use probably their last semester or 2 to work on that. And then our 4th stream is our practicum stream. That's where students work with local organizations on really hands-on projects. One example would be we have a Elizabeth Fry Society in Thunder Bay. It works with women who are often coming out of the judicial system and the incarceration system. They work with them, help them transition back into everyday life, support them any way they can. Our students will go there and they'll do workshops with them. They'll support them if they're moving into a new apartment, those sorts of things. And so they provide that really hands-on experience provides a really hands-on experience for our students.
That's really good. Like, it's helpful to hear how broad the entire program is while still allowing students to dive deeply into specific streams, as you mentioned, that matter to them. Okay, so with that, my next question to you, Dr. Kevin, is what kinds of critical thinking, research, and applied skills do students develop through this social justice graduate studies?
Yeah, so thinking about or approaching the world through a social justice lens is really approaching it through a critical thinking lens because one of the reasons we have the kinds of inequalities and social justice issues that we have is because people can't see the sort of power imbalance or the injustice clearly. They don't understand why that exists. And so simply through our theory classes and looking at the world through a social justice framework, students become stronger critical thinkers. Our research methods class is really unique in that it helps students understand how to do research from a decolonial perspective, which means working with marginalized groups. And instead of extracting information from people or places, they're really contributing to those communities, contributing to their vitality, working with the community to do the kind of research that is beneficial to them. And then the third option that you're looking at, what's applied, I talked a little bit about the practicum option that we had. Another really good example of a student using their knowledge and applying is that we had a student work with the city of Aurelia, where we also have a campus and we have students there. And the student worked with the city of Aurelia to help develop, at least in the initial stage, an anti-poverty or a poverty reduction plan, sorry. So she worked really closely with a city councilor, a committee on the city, did a lot of really in-depth research, held some public events, and really moved that city a long way to thinking about how it could approach poverty in the city and work towards poverty reduction.
That's really great to hear. I mean, those skills are clearly very transferable and also useful well beyond academics. So that's really good to know. Yeah, my next question is, how do the programs engage with real world social issues, communities, and lived experiences?
Yeah, I'll continue to draw on our practicum experiences there to talk about that. Although I should also say that students have opportunities within classes to also do some hands-on experience. Maybe I can give you a good example of that. We have a gender and women's studies specialization. Our gender and women's studies department contributes a lot to the program. One of the professors there offered a class in feminist abolition, so how to think about being anti-carceral from a feminist perspective. And the students in that group actually formed an organization that has continued on past the class. And they've done some fundraising to support Elizabeth Fry. They've also done some sort of public education to raise people's awareness of things like the remand problem that we have in Northern Ontario. And so even within a class, our instructors are often looking for ways to have students apply the classroom knowledge to a real world setting.
I love that. Like that connection to real communities is just really awesome, and it really brings the learning to life. So yeah, I can see that impact that students are creating now. Yeah. So my next question is basically, what types of career paths do social justice graduates commonly pursue?
Yeah, so our students have really impressed me with the variety of things that they've been able to do coming out of our program. We kind of anticipated some. A few of them go on to get a PhD, but they get PhDs in a variety of fields. Again, ours is interdisciplinary, so it sets them up for PhDs in a wide range of fields. Some go on to law school. That also probably is something that many of our applicants are thinking about, and then a few of them actually go ahead and do that. We've been a little bit surprised by how many students have gone on to medical school. We've had students come to us from the sciences, understand that practicing medicine actually means practicing social justice, as part of what they're doing is often reducing health disparities. And so we've had about 5 students go on to medical school. We've had students go into the nonprofit sector, which probably isn't too surprising. That might mean working for a really big organization like Red Cross of Canada, which is actually a global organization, so they could work really anywhere in the world for Red Cross, or working locally. We have in Thunder Bay, we have a Northwest Ontario Women's Center that has hired about 3 or 4 of our students, either on contract or long-term positions. And then finally, the thing that has surprised me a little bit, but has been really successful for our students, is that they've ended up working in government at various levels, whether that's the Ontario provincial government. We've had students move to other provinces and worked for their provincial government, or they've worked for the city. I sort of mentioned the practicum example, but cities are often in the business of social justice. They want to make the city as fair and accessible and inclusive for as many people as possible. And so they recognize that our students can help them do that through transportation or through environmental issues or through EDI practices. So the government has actually been a really strong employer within for our students.
I agree with you. Like, it's really great to see how diverse these pathways are and how graduates can apply this degree across multiple sectors, as you mentioned. So that's really good to know. So, Kevin, thank you so much for sharing your insights today. That brings us to our closing for today's session. So, the conversation really might give prospective students a much clearer sense of what social justice graduate studies at Lakehead is going to look like and whether it's the right fit for them. Do you have anything to say before we move on to our next segment?
Uh, I would just say I would encourage anybody to reach out and check in. We've had students come from as disparate degrees as accounting and chemical engineering, as well as the social science and humanities. So we're really open to and have benefited from that diversity of student perspective in our program. And it just never hurts to ask and then to apply.
Thank you so much for that. So we appreciate your time and hope to connect with you soon. So
All right.
next, we'll be moving on to our next segment for today's session. So hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm really pleased to be joined by Dr. Meredith Lowell Johnston, Chair of Undergraduate Studies, Chair of Graduate Studies and Research, and also Associate Professor in the Faculty of Education at Lakehead University. I would like you to introduce yourself, Dr. Meredith, if you want to, speak something or, give an introduction.
Great. Hello, everyone. My name is Meredith Lovell Johnston. I am an associate professor in the Faculty of Education. My research areas are around the development of reading in early childhood and also with educational technology. So this is my 11th year at Lakehead and my 6th year as chair of graduate studies. So I'm really hoping to get to meet some of you and read your applications in the coming months.
Thank you so much. So Dr. Laurel Johnston brings a strong academic and leadership perspective on our Master of Education programs. So today we'll be walking you through what the MEd looks like at Lakehead and who it is designed for and how students can choose the pathway that's going to fit their goals the best. Okay, so my first question to you is, and to start us off, for someone who's exploring graduate studies in education for the first time, how would you describe Lakehead's Master of Education programs?
Yes. So what I find about our programs, and we do actually have two programs, and I'll talk about that shortly, is that they're very flexible. So one of my goals as chair is to make sure that people have opportunities that fit their goals. We do have many of our international students apply to what the course-based Master of Education program in educational studies. And really, that's the more flexible option. It's designed for those who have a formal background with the educational system. So if you have a Bachelor of Education, or if you're have been teaching in a public school. But we also have something called Education for Change, which is an equivalent degree. And that is designed for people who might have more of a focus on justice and equity, issues of power. That's our social justice program. You can also specialize in environmental and sustainability education. And the third is Indigenous education, but I will say that really is a focus for those who have a background or interest in North American Indigenous people. So it's not necessarily a international Indigenous audience. It's more very specifically focused for North American Indigenous peoples.
So that's really helpful, especially for students who are, who are in the comparison mode, or who wants to do more comparing programs and also try to understand how an MEd fits into their long-term goals. My next question to you is, can you give us a quick overview of the MEd program options and also the areas of specialization available to students?
Sure. So I did highlight two of them. We have educational studies, we have Education for Change. So you will apply to one of those two programs. And I will say that oftentimes, once you've joined the program, you'll take a class in the first year and you'll be inspired. It is possible to change between them. So that's fine. We also do have joint specializations in gerontology. So if you're interested in issues around aging and the aging population, you could take a specialization, a joint specialization with gerontology, or with gender and women's studies. So if you're interested in feminist theory and feminist research, or those areas around equity, you can specialize in those. But those you would need to select right when you apply. You can't change into or out of those. As a master's program, we are fully able to accommodate about 90% of our students are course-based students. So those students take 10 classes, and they have up to 2 years to take those classes, although many do finish earlier. We do have a thesis-based program where you would take 6 classes usually in your first year, and then work on research with a supervisor in the second year. And then we have a portfolio-based, which is more looking at a practical application. Again, you would plan a project with a supervisor. One of the common misperceptions in applying to our program is that you must secure a supervisor to apply. You don't. Although, if you have ideas, that is fine, but it's not required. So your application won't be denied if you apply as a thesis student, but you don't have a sense yet of who your supervisor is. Many of our students meet up with faculty in the first year and form those connections.
Thank you so much for that information. I think flexibility is an important point. It gives students room to shape the program around their interests and also the career direction they would rather take. So I love that. Yeah. So my next question to you is, from an academic and professional standpoint, what key skills and perspectives do students typically develop through an MEd?
Great. Yes. So coming into our program, we are a professional faculty, but it's an academic program. So one of the common, again, misperceptions coming into our program is that taking the Master of Education program will qualify you to teach in Ontario classrooms. And unfortunately, that's not true. For us, it's the bachelor's program that is recognized by the Ontario College of Teachers. And many of the people who come into our program already have a bachelor's degree, although not all of them do. Some have 2 or 3 years of professional experience in formal education, and sometimes we do allow that instead. But if you are looking to study in Canada and you have a bachelor's degree from your home country, the Ontario College of Teachers, separate from Lakehead, does have steps to honor bachelor's degrees from internationally trained teachers. So you can apply to the Ontario College of Teachers to teach in public school, perhaps while you're doing your master's or after. So I think that from our perspective, a lot of the classes, we don't have exams. That's a common question too. You don't have to sit for exams in our program. But that means that a lot of the work that we do is around researching, finding information, synthesizing and evaluating and communicating, being able to present, but also the really most prevalent way that we do assessment in our program is through writing. So when people apply to our program, we look closely at writing proficiency, as well as the ability to speak clearly, because there is a lot of interaction in our classes and building on ideas, particularly for international students who take a number of their classes face-to-face, although not all of them. So being able to interact in class is really important too.
That's really a lot of things that international students really should take note of. Some really common misconceptions that you just presented. Definitely. My next question to you is, and I think you touch based on certain points throughout our conversation so far, but how do research practice-based learnings or professional experience fit into the MEd at Lakehead?
Yes. So normally people come into a master's degree for one of 2 reasons. One is because there is something about their practice as a teacher that they really want to understand more. So for me, it was moving from teaching grade 2 to teaching high school and having students who couldn't read and being told there was nothing we could do. So my whole graduate career has been learning about what we do with children who struggle to learn to read. So oftentimes that, and that leads itself more to a course-based program, although sometimes it's a thesis-based program too. But the other reason that people come into graduate studies might be because they're looking towards doing a PhD. And Lakehead does have a PhD program. And usually if you are thinking that at some point you want to do a PhD, whether it's at Lakehead or somewhere else, you should be looking at a thesis-based program because you need to prove, excuse me, research proficiency before as coming into the program. So I think that it's really interesting how doing graduate studies in a professional faculty can lead really just directly to professional goals. I want to learn more about my practice. I want to learn more about curriculum, or I want to learn more about administration, or to research for further academic study, or both. So everybody, I think, has a little bit of a different plan for where they want to go. And again, you can, like, if you do come into the program and you start with course-based study, as most of our students do, and then in that first year, you take an assessment of your professional goals and think, at some point I want to do a PhD, or I have a topic that really interests me. And trust me, you need something that will sustain your interest over time. Then we can look at transferring into or out of thesis-based programs. And at that point, we would have a conversation and talk about your goals and how to best support you.
Thank you so much for that. Like, this is something all international students should really take note of while planning for their graduate studies in the education faculty, definitely. My last and final question to you is, what type of career paths do graduates typically pursue after completing an MD?
It's very, very vast. So the most common, I will say, are students who want to teach in the classroom. And as I said, in Ontario, to do that, you need to be certified by the Ontario College of Teachers. That is separate from Lakehead, although there is a path for people who do have a Bachelor of Education who want to teach. Although we do have some master's students who do not have a bachelor's background, complete their master's and then teach in private schools, or teach in schools that are, mostly private schools. So that is one option. But there are a number of different ways that you can use an education degree. Consulting. A number of students, like I have a student in the PhD program, but a number of students in the master's program who open education centers. So they have a much more formal theoretical lens when they come out of the master's. They use that, they open an education center. You can also consult. I have people that I went to graduate school with, and they consult with government ministries, and not even in education, like in health. And also, there are people who look at things like training. So a lot of businesses need people who know how to teach content. You can learn the content very easily, but you need to be able to break it down and do research and apply it. And so education graduates at the undergraduate and graduate level are really in demand for these things. So there is a variety. There's no one path. Our program is mostly designed for people who want to teach in education, but especially if you're looking at education for change, we get applicants into the program or people who are interested in social justice and working for like large charities or non-governmental agencies. We have a Master of Education student, an international student, who went from our program and was accepted to law school, pursuing to become a human rights lawyer. So really there is a lot of benefit, although sometimes, it doesn't necessarily, there are situations for which a Master of Education might not be a good fit. And so one of the things that we've been seeing lately is a rise in students who don't have a lot of experience with education, and they see the Master of Education as a way to get into the field, and that's not always a good fit. So one of the things we might do is talk about which one of our, like, if there are other programs at Lakehead that are suitable, and all of them have a slightly different focus. So I think there's a lot of variety, and there are a lot of there is a lot of flexibility in things that we can do. But from my perspective, I don't want people to just come and not have an experience that doesn't meet their goals and where they don't feel that they're doing meaningful work.
Definitely, it makes sense. And it's really great to see how versatile the entire degree is and how graduates can apply it across different roles and also sectors, as you mentioned, within education and beyond. So that's really good to know. Do you have anything to say to the international students who are looking to join Lakehead or to join the education faculty? Do you have any tips before we wrap up today's session?
Yes. So my feedback is, or my suggestion is, one of the things about Lakehead, particularly given that our international students are based in Thunder Bay, and Thunder Bay is much more remote than Toronto, and that might be scary for people. But Lakehead has such an amazing community, and we have an amazing community of international scholars and students within our faculty who support each other. We have full-time faculty and contract lecturers who are really committed to ensuring success, and just think about, you might be drawn to a large population center like Toronto, but give it a try, because one of the things you'll never be at Lakehead is just a number. And so with the flexibility and with the support, like, we want to help you grow as scholars. And I'm not saying that the bigger schools aren't that way, but there's lots of opportunities at Lakehead, and going to a smaller school than perhaps might be possible in bigger schools.
That's some solid advice and a really good point to wrap up our session today. So thank you so much, Dr. Meredith, for sharing your insights today. This conversation is really going to help clarify what the Master of Education at Lakehead offers and how students can make some informed decisions. So we appreciate your time and hope to connect with you soon. And now we'll be moving on to our next segment for today's session.
So hello everyone and welcome to this segment. So we are thrilled to have Dr. Subramaniam Sivaramakrishnan, Dean of the Faculty of Business Administration, with us to talk about Lakehead MBA. So today we'll be exploring what makes this program unique, what skills students gain, and how it can shape your career. So Dr. Subbu, thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you, Hardika.
Okay, perfect. So my first question to you is, what is the difference between an undergraduate degree and an MBA? Like, what type of students tend to get the most value from an MBA at Lakehead?
Sure, that's a great question. So in an undergraduate degree, the focus generally is on building the knowledge base of the student, and to some extent skill building, but the focus is largely on making sure students have the foundational knowledge. Now, let's take a undergraduate business degree. So whether you take a course in accounting or HR or marketing or business analytics or finance, you're going to learn a lot of the basics. And that's true of almost any undergraduate degree in any discipline. An MBA, however, focuses a lot more at the strategic level, leadership level. More of a managerial type of education is what you will get in the MBA. So the focus is on somebody who might hold a higher level in an organization, where you have to have not only the hard skills, but you need to have significant level of soft skills in terms of uh, as I said, managing people, managing money, managing resources, more of a long-term strategic overall macro kind of thinking. So that's a big difference between what you would learn in an MBA program versus what you would learn in an undergraduate degree, whether it's business or any other discipline.
Oh, that's fantastic to know. Um, my second question to you is, do students need an undergraduate business degree to do an MBA?
Interestingly, no. So an MBA is one of the few master's degrees you can do without an undergraduate degree in the same discipline. So you might have a degree in philosophy or engineering or science, history, it doesn't matter. You can still do an MBA. So you might be in a classroom where the person on this side has an engineering background, the person on this side has a arts background, and that's the beauty of an MBA, where you can be from any background whatsoever, and you can still do very well in an MBA program, because again, the focus is not on building the knowledge base, but on building skills, building leadership skills, strategic skills, analytical skills, which you would need to build on regardless of what academic background you are from.
That sounds really good. Like, it's really great to see how the program blends flexibility of sort with a like solid structure to meet every individual's career goals. So that's really good. My next question to you is, can you give an overview of the Lakehead MBA program structure?
Certainly. So the Lakehead MBA we have two formats. We have our most popular one is a 12-month MBA. So you start in September, and by the next August, you have your degree. So it's a 1-year MBA. And we also have a 16-month MBA, which is, so you'll also start in September, but instead of finishing in August, you might finish in December. And now the difference between our 12-month MBA and our 16-month MBA is that in a 16-month MBA, you can also take some extra courses towards an area that you might want to specialize in. So let's say marketing interests you, you might take 4 more courses in marketing. In a 12-month MBA, it's 15 courses that you need to take. 11 of them are required. And then you have 4 electives where you can choose courses based on your interest. In our 16-month MBA, you're taking 19 courses, where it's still the same 11 required courses as a 12-month MBA, but then you're taking 8 more courses towards based on your interest. Now, regardless of whether it's the 12-month or the 16-month degree, you're still getting an MBA, which is a Master's of Business Administration from Lakehead University.
Okay, that's actually very clear, that the way you put it. So it's going to be very helpful for the international students to understand more about the MBA. My next question is a bit about the career path. So basically, what career paths do MBA graduates typically move into after completing the program?
Yeah, so after an MBA, you can expect to move into, well, depending on how much of work experience you came into the MBA with. Let us say you came in with no or minimal work experience, you can expect to go into a junior management position. So it might be in investment banking, it might be in a consulting firm, it might be, almost in any industry, you can start off your career. But let's say you already have some work experience, you can expect to go into middle management. And we quite often have managers who are already in those positions coming back to do an MBA to get a career boost. So some of our students, after having worked in middle management, they get an MBA, and very soon they go into senior management positions. Another beauty of an MBA is it gives you lateral mobility. So let's say today you're working in an engineering consulting firm. Tomorrow, you might be working in a biotechnology firm. You might work in an airline, in construction, in banking. Why? Because no matter what industry you are in, they still need to manage money. They still need to manage people. They still need long-term strategic thinking. They need leadership skills. They need management skills. So it gives you tremendous lateral mobility across industry sectors as well. And really, sky is the limit in terms of how far you can go with an MBA.
Definitely, like I'm sure like MBA equips all the students to move into like positions with greater responsibility and more impact, whether it be in strategy, operations, as you mentioned, like finance, or just in general management. So that's really good to know. My next question to you is, what type of student tends to get the most value from an MBA at Lakehead?
Well, the kind of students who tend to get the most value are ones who already come in with a reasonable level of uh, communication skills, with interpersonal skills, aptitude, and so on. But the MBA will still leave you at a much higher position than when you started, because these are all focal areas in an MBA. These are skills we try to build. But we do want students who have some level to begin with, which is why we require a GMAT exam, because that does, to a fair extent, test your aptitude, your analytical skills, your quantitative and verbal skills. And so those kinds of students tend to do better. The other kind who usually do very well in an MBA program are students who already have some level of work experience. And that is something that I would highly encourage, because then you are able to relate to what's discussed in the class, because you've already worked in an organization. Although we do not require work experience, it definitely helps to succeed in an MBA program. But that being said, we have students who come in with no work experience who still do very well in an MBA.
Thank you so much for that answer. So my final question to you is, like, why should a prospective student choose Lakehead's MBA over any other MBA programs?
Well, you have to take a look at the different MBA programs and see what's best for you. But I can tell you some aspects that make the MBA at Lakehead special. One is you can get an MBA in 12 months. Many other MBA programs might typically a typical MBA program is about 2 years. Here you can do it in 12 months. Another aspect is we really pride ourselves on our small class sizes. So you're not going to be in a class with 100 students or 200 students. We tend to have very small classes here, so you get a lot of personal attention. You're not just another number in the class. The professor knows you by name, and that's really important in any program, especially in an MBA program where there's a lot of in-class discussion, and class interaction and engagement is extremely important in an MBA. And so our class sizes here can be as small as 10, may go up to 40 or 50 in some introductory courses, but we rarely have any classes bigger than that. And that's something we are very proud of. And of course, you might also want to explore the tuition we charge compared to the tuition fees that many other universities charge. And you will find that you get really good value for your money by coming to Lakehead University for your MBA. Not to mention, Thunder Bay is a beautiful part of the country.
Thank you so much for that. So, Dr. Subbu, I'm so glad that you were able to share your insights today. And for anyone considering graduate business studies, it's just clear that the Lakehead MBA provides the skills and experiences and support to thrive in today's business world. Do you have anything else to say, Dr. Subbu, before we wrap up?
No, I just want to thank you all for joining this webinar. And we are looking forward to seeing you in our program. And I wish you all the very best in whatever you choose to do or wherever you choose to go. And we do hope to see you here soon. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. We are more than happy to answer your questions. You can send an email to business@lakeheadu.ca. Again, it's business@lakeheadu.ca. And with whatever questions you have about the MBA program, and we'll get back to you as soon as we get that email. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So with that, let's just move on to the next segment.
So, hello everyone. In this segment, we are focusing on natural resources management at the graduate level, a field that's really relevant for students interested in environmental sustainability and a real-world impact. I am joined today by Garima Narang, Regional Manager for South Asia at Lakehead University. Garima works closely with prospective students and has a great overview of how our NRM graduate programs are structured and who they are designed for. So, Garima, thank you for being with with us today. And if you'd like to introduce yourself, now is the time.
Sure. Thank you,
Go ahead. Yeah.
Hardika. It's certainly been a pleasure connecting with you and sharing my thoughts about the program, which we have been promoting on ground for such a long time. I mean, natural resource management has so much to offer to international students, and really looking forward to a conversation as we progress.
Thank you so much for that, Garima. And so let's just dive in. Just to start us off, how would you describe natural resources management at Lakehead to a student hearing about it for the first time?
So natural resource management is, I would say, the heart and soul of the university. And Lakehead remains the only comprehensive university in Ontario that is teaching students about sustainability, about geomatics, about everything related to the ecosystem of the nature. And I must say that our faculty is nearly 75 years old. So I'm not sure if the audience really knows about it, but this has been the longest running faculty on campus, and we've been offering courses under this faculty for the longest time. So yeah, we are really proud of our past and excited for the future that is open and available for aspirants in different markets.
Thank you so much, Garima. That's a really great overview. My next question to you is, Lakehead offers several graduate programs connected to natural resources management. So can you give us a quick overview of the NRM-based graduate options and how they differ from one another?
Certainly. So when you look at the portfolio of any master program per se, there are two sides to it. So we've got a course route and a thesis route. So thesis route is aligned, which is a very research focused part and a good fit for students who are looking to research in policy or looking, or looking into progression into the academic side, such as a PhD. And course-based program are more applied and professionally oriented, that focuses on practical skills for careers in industry, government, or consulting also. And so within the program itself, when you look at the course route, the program focuses on the development side a lot, that relates to biodiversity, conservation, policy, as I said, geomatics, and so on and so forth. In terms of the research area, the student needs to connect with a potential supervisor, identify the research area, and then progressing on with the application. And also to add, under this program, we also have a 24-month transfer option, so which allows students to get 2 degrees, one obviously from the university, from Lakehead University, and another from a European university that could be in Finland, Sweden, and we have a separate process for students exploring that option beyond a regular 16 months or a 24 months research route. So this is something is also getting popular among international students. So at the end of the day, it's very important for students to make the right choice, identifying their interest, and explore the option within the faculty at Lakehead. Yeah.
Thank you, Karima. So that comparison is really helpful, especially for students who are trying to decide between research focused or just more applied pathways. So it's just gonna make their options feel a lot clearer. So my next question to you is beyond classroom learning, what key skills and hands-on experiences do students gain through NRM graduate programs, particularly through fieldwork, research, or any kind of applied projects?
This is such an important element for a course route program wherein the students are learning beyond regular classes, which are generally held a couple of times in a week. And as you briefly also mentioned about the field work, so field work is so essential in this program so that they sort of practice what is being taught in the class on the ground and sort of get ready, get job ready also. Students also develop certain practical skills such as data collection, analysis, report writing, and also how to connect with the industries which are aligned with their program. Besides that, the students also work closely with faculty, industry partners, government agencies. That really helps them to build a professional network, and which is so very important for students to sort of develop a critical thinking and problem solving while they are while they are exploring and understanding the nitty gritty of the faculty. So I would also say that a program has been aligned, keeping the job requirements and preparing them to take a leading career choices after they complete their program. Yeah.
Yeah,
If I could also add, I'm sorry, if I could also add that we just don't sum up here. The classes are very, very interactive, considering that these students are coming from a different academic background, different continents. I think a student interaction is very, very important for them to thrive and excel in that particular domain. And I'm so very confident that Lakehead has that ecosystem, has that space wherein the students have a very friendly and interactive learning environment, which makes it a little more comfortable for an international student. Yeah.
I agree with you, Garima. Like, I think that hands-on element really stands out here, especially at Lakehead University, and it's really helpful for students to hear how much learning actually happens just outside the lecture room. Yeah.
Totally.
So moving on, what career paths do graduate from NRM-based programs typically pursue, and how do these programs prepare students to just address real-world issues or challenges in Canada and globally?
As it mentioned that the learning is beyond the classroom, and all the program, both research and the course route have been designed keeping the job requirements in mind. But it is something students are, if they're really interested in exploring the science behind it, or policy, or natural resource, or getting more into GIS or geomatical sort of line of operation or industry, I think would be a well thought decision for somebody who would want to just work under, who would want to work under that ecosystem which is there for the development of the nation, development of the mankind. So I think it just prepares them to take up all the leading jobs in different sectors, be it government or non-government organizations. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for that. My last question to you is, if a student is deciding whether an NRM graduate program is right for them, what should they be thinking about before applying? And how does Lakehead's location play a role in the learning experience?
This is my favorite question. And obviously we've not spoken about the location. So Lakehead has different campuses, but this program is offered at Thunder Bay, which is the signature, the comprehensive campus, and an ideal location for students studying natural resource management because of its rich and diverse natural landscape that really helps them to sort of, be closer to the nature, be able to practice the science and the math on the ground with the help of the faculty. And the location has extensive forests, lakes, and wetlands, which, as I said, provides excellent opportunities for hands-on field experience and research area. And we've been talking about the ecosystem also. So this really allows students to study forestry, wildlife, water systems, environmental management, and whatnot, which is the goal of the program. And also the area, Thunder Bay, has strong connections with government agencies, industries, as well as research organizations, giving an excellent access, towards students to professional networks and explore career opportunities also. So I think so that's why I think the location is quite advantageous because one, it is away from the hustle and bustle, so where you wouldn't really, talking about, let's say, Toronto, where you wouldn't really see, nature and landscape and lakes around, but Thunder Bay has that advantage, and hence it's become an ideal choice in terms of the location and the existence of our natural resource management faculty on campus also.
My next question to you is, what kind of students tend to thrive in NRM graduate programs, and who is this field a strong fit for?
See, we've been talking about how the program has been designed, and I believe the student certainly has that passion, that interest towards this industry. But what we have seen largely students who have a bachelor's in forestry, agriculture, environment would be the right fit for this program, who really enjoys, solving real world environmental challenges, and curious and are very curious on hands-on learning, and I would say should be the right fit for such students. Yeah.
So thank you so much, Garima, for your insights. That gives us a clear picture of what students can expect from natural resources management at the graduate level. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Pleasure is all mine, Hardika, for giving me an opportunity, and I hope this information is important and the audience understands more about the faculty and the university. Thank you so much. Stay safe. Bye-bye.
Yeah. So with that, we'll move on to our next segment. So hello, everyone, and welcome to this segment. We are focusing on graduate programs in computer science. It's a field that's dynamic, rapidly evolving, and full of opportunities for innovation and also real-world impact. So I'm joined today by Dr. Garima Bajwa, Assistant Professor in the Computer Science Department at Lakehead. So I'd like you to introduce yourself, Dr. Garima, before we get started.
Yeah, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everywhere in the world where the students are watching it. I am Garima Bajwa. I'm an assistant professor at the Department of Computer Science in Lakehead University. I'm also the graduate coordinator of the graduate programs in our department.
It's great to have you with us. Let's dive in and give our audience a clear picture of what studying computer science at Lakehead looks like. So how would you describe Lakehead's graduate computer science programs to a student seeing them for the first time?
So the computer science graduate program at Lakehead University can be described as rigorous and intense, having a blend of both foundational knowledge as well as practical experience that the students require for the job market. And I would also like to add here that the students will have a close interaction with their faculty members throughout their program.
That's a really great overview. Thank you for that. So my next question to you is, can you give us a quick overview of the computer science graduate program options and how they differ in focus or even structure?
So we have three main streams: the course-based option, the project-based program, and a thesis-based stream. So the course-based option focuses on advanced coursework for the students who are aiming to upskill very quickly. The project-based program, the students will be working with a supervisor with an applied project for 2 semesters. And the thesis-based program emphasizes on original research. And you also have a thesis with AI specialization, which is focused on in-depth machine learning AI with a strong research training component.
Thank you for that comparison. It is really helpful, and it makes it easier for students to understand which pathway might align best with their research interest and also career plans. My next question is basically what technical skills and areas of specializations do students typically develop through these programs?
So depending upon their stream, the students gain, more experience about research methods, experimental design, how to work with the real data sets and systems, in addition to the popular buzzwords such as software development, data science, data analytics, how to work in distributed systems, and the more popular one, cybersecurity these days as well.
That's good to know, actually. So how do these research or projects or labs or even applied coursework for that matter play a role in the learning experience for graduate computer science students?
I think all these components, whether these are research projects, applied or applied coursework, they're very central to our program. The students not only learn just concepts, they have to apply them through projects, and they bridge the gap between theory and practice. And they are also preparing the students to actually solve open-ended problems, whether it is in industry or it is in any research setting.
I actually liked how you explained that. So it really shows how the program balances theory with hands-on practical learning. According to you, what type of career paths do computer science graduates commonly move into after graduation?
So over the years, it's been very interesting that our graduates have been employed in a variety of fields in Canada. So they have gone from academia, for example, pursuing PhD research after completing their master's, to working in the financial sector, in the big banks, developing their softwares or mining their data, to cybersecurity, to government labs, such as, working for CRA and so on.
So that's really very helpful. It's great that students understand the real world applications and also find opportunities that the computer science degree opens up. Yeah, so that's good to know. My next question is again regarding students. So what kind of student tends to do well in graduate computer science programs at Lakehead?
I think in general, the students who are motivated and comfortable tackling challenging problems, thrive in graduate programs. And I would say, coming to Lakehead, if you value close interaction with the faculty members, you enjoy independent thinking, and you want to actively shape your learning experience, in a close-knit community, I think then Lakehead is the right place for you.
Perfect. That's a really good answer, actually. My last and final question to you is, what should students consider when deciding if a computer science graduate degree is the right next step for them?
I think you need to deeply focus on what are your long-term goals, whether you want deeper technical expertise, or you want more advanced research experience. So I think a graduate program is a strong fit if you want to go beyond your undergraduate fundamentals and are ready for a focused, intensive, rigorous learning, with a faculty member.
Thank you. That's really great guidance. I think students will really appreciate hearing how to weigh their goals and interests and also career plans before applying. Before we wrap up today's segment, do you have any kind of tip or advice for future international students who are planning to either join Lakehead or join a computer science program?
I think you have asked very good questions, and hopefully I have answered most of them. But I think if students have anything that they cannot find on the website or would like for information, they can feel free to reach me anytime. the emails can take time to reply, but I think it's helpful if they want more feedback from us regarding what kind of path or what kind of degree in the 4 degree options that they need help in choosing from.
So with that, thank you so much, Dr. Pajwa, for sharing your insights. That I'm assuming that's going to give our audience a clear and comprehensive picture of graduate studies in computer science at Lakehead. Yeah, that's all. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you.
And now we'll be moving on to our next segment. So hello, everyone. So today we have Joshua Sanchez with us, who's our International Recruitment Officer, who will be speaking about engineering programs, specifically graduate programs at Lakehead University. Joshua works closely with students, helping them understand the application process, program options, and also what life is like at Lakehead University. So thank you so much for joining us today, Joshua.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, that's really great. So it's great to have you with us, and let's just get started and help our audience today to get a clear picture of what graduate studies in engineering at Lakehead's going to look like. So at a high level, how would you describe Lakehead's graduate engineering programs to prospective students who are exploring engineering at the master's level?
Yes, so Lakehead's graduate engineering programs, I would say they're best described as applied, flexible, and closely connected to real-world engineering challenges. So they are designed for students who want to deepen their technical expertise while also developing these practical skills that translate directly into the industry, research, or the professional practice of engineering, right? One of the defining features of our programs, I will say, is the balance between the theory and the application. So students don't just learn like the advanced concepts in engineering in all of our different areas, but they also apply these concepts through projects, labs, simulations, and research as well that reflects the real engineering problems. Because class sizes here at Lakehead are relatively small, students benefit a lot from this direct access to professors, mentorship, and all the individualized academic support that we offer. One last aspect I would like to highlight is the flexibility as well of our program. So we offer a wide range of engineering programs with multiple pathways within the graduate engineering that allow students to choose an option that best aligns to their career goals.
Thank you so much for that overview, Joshua. Like that really helps the audience understand what makes these programs unique and also exciting. Can you also, I know you touched based on some of it, some of these aspects, but can you give us a brief overview of the graduate engineering program options at Lakehead and how they differ in focus, in structure, or even in areas of specialization?
Of course. So students here at Lakehead, they can study a wide variety of areas such as electrical and computer, chemical, civil, environmental, mechanical, and mechatronics engineering. So we offer in most of these programs 3 pathways, each designed for a different type of student. So first we have the course-based masters that would be the first only 1 year, and this option is ideal usually for students that want to strengthen their technical skills and want to enter the workforce quickly. It focuses primarily on advanced coursework aligned with industry needs usually, and the students can gain a lot of depth in the areas such as system analysis, design methods, modeling, engineering tools as well. I'll say this pathway is best suited for professional practice rather than further academic research. So if you are interested more in academic research, we have the other 2 options that are project and thesis based. So they're usually 2 years as well. So the project based option usually combines coursework with supervised applied project. So this is a great fit for students who want hands-on experience solving a specific engineering problem. So students still take the advanced courses, but they also have to complete this structured project that demonstrates their ability to apply these engineering principles in a real world context. Finally, we have the thesis-based option that it's more research intensive, and it's designed for students that want to do advanced research or innovation, or they want to go to future PhD studies as well. So students take fewer courses and they focus more heavily in their original research, of course, under the supervision of one of our professors, of our faculty member. And this option, of course, develops a very strong analytical, research, and technical writing skills as well.
That's very helpful, Joshua. Thank you for that. Like explaining the differences in structure and also focus is gonna make it easier for students to see which pathway might be aligning best with their own goals. So my next question to you is, how do labs, design projects, also industry connected work and applied or research based coursework is gonna shape the graduate engineering learning experience?
Yes, so basically, all the hands-on learning is central to the graduate engineering experience here at Lakehead. So all of these projects and coursework allow the students to move beyond the textbook concepts and engage directly with these engineering challenges that they may face after they graduate. So all of these design projects often mirror the type of problems that they can face in the industry, requiring the students to define the objectives, consider constraints, propose solutions as well. So in labs and design-oriented courses, students work with real databases, real instruments and engineering tools, with simulation environments and experimental design and testing methodologies. For students more in the project or thesis-based pathways, they apply or the research work becomes the major component of their learning. And this may involve developing prototypes or systems designs, conducting experimental or even computational research as well. So this structure helps students graduate not only with a degree, but also with that tangible experience that is necessary, that prepares them for the transition to confidently into industry roles, research position, or the further academic study.
Yeah, I think Joshua, you summed it up in a beautiful way. Like there needs to be a balance between theoretical learning as well as hands-on experience, which is very important in engineering. So my next question, which is going to be a really popular question for most of the students, is like, what type of career paths do graduates from Lakehead's engineering graduate programs commonly pursue after completing their studies?
Of course, that's a very common question as well, and a very valid one. So there is a wide range of career paths students can pursue after their studies, depending especially if they have completed the course, project, or thesis-based degree. So students that complete the course base usually transition quickly into these professional roles in sectors like manufacturing, engineering, energy, infrastructure, technology, or like the applied engineering part of services. The graduates from project-based programs usually pursue roles that value hands-on problem solving and applied experience. So even their final project can act almost like a professional portfolio piece, which demonstrates their ability to manage technical challenges from the concept all the way to the solution. Usually the students that complete the thesis option, they continue into other programs like PhD, but they also work in research or in R&D departments in companies. They are mostly focused on the innovation part of the industry, but they also can work, for example, for the government or for policy-related technical roles, right? Because Lakehead basically emphasizes this applied learning, even research-focused graduates tend to be very competitive for industry R&D positions, not just the academic careers, and this is something very important to highlight as well. Overall, the programs are designed to keep all the pathways open for all the students, allowing graduates to pivot between this industry, research, or further study.
Yeah, it's really encouraging for students to see the wide range of opportunities available after graduation. So that's a really good point. So before we wrap up today's session, do you have anything else, like any kind of advice or tips for prospective students who are thinking of applying either at Lakehead or to any engineering program?
Yes, so I'll say when they are considering making this decision, I think students should reflect on why they want to make this next step and how it aligns with their long-term goals. So they should ask themselves, how do I want to deepen my technical expertise or shift into a more specialized area? If I'm aiming for industry advancement or applied experience or research, and this basically helps them to determine if they want a course, a project, or a thesis based. And I think students also should consider the practical outcomes. A graduate in an engineering degree can definitely enhance the employability. They can open doors to a wide variety of specialized roles, and it can provide this competitive edge in comparison with other candidates. If the student has a clear sense of purpose and they choose a program structure that definitely matches their career direction, a graduate studies can be very rewarding and transformative experience.
Thank you so much, Joshua, for sharing all your insights today. This discussion is definitely going to give a clear picture of what students can expect from Lakehead's graduate engineering programs. Yeah, and that's a wrap for us, Joshua. Thank you so much.
That's great. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. And now we'll be moving on to the other engineering programs that we offer at Lakehead University. So hello, everyone. And in this segment, we'll be focusing on graduate programs in electrical and computer engineering, an area that plays a very critical role in innovation and technology development and just industry advancement worldwide. And I'm pleased to be joined by Dr. Yushi Zhu, Associate Professor in Electrical and Computer Engineering at Lakehead University. I would give the floor to you, Dr. Yushi, in order to introduce yourself before we begin.
Hello, everyone. My name is Yushi Zhou. I'm Associate Professor, currently serving as a Program Coordinator for the Master Program at Electrical and Computer Engineering Department.
It's great to have you with us. So let's just get started. Can you give us a brief overview of the electrical and computer engineering graduate program options at Lakehead and also explain how they differ in focus or even structure?
Okay, so electrical and computer engineering program offer two options here, thesis-based and course-based option. The thesis-based option is research-focused. Students work closely with the faculty or supervisor on a research project, preparing all degree works, including our seminar presentation, defense, and thesis. This option is well suited for students who are interested in research, advanced technology development, or eventually pursuing a PhD. The course-based option emphasizes coursework and applied learning. So it is designed for students who want to improve their technical skill for professional practice in industry. Most of courses include a course project where students apply the concept to a design. So both options offer a strong graduate level training, but they differ in how students learn and where the emphasis lies.
Thank you. That overview is really helpful. My next question to you is, what key technical and problem-solving skills do students typically develop through these graduate programs?
So the graduate students in electrical and computer engineering develop a very strong combination of technical depth and analytical problem-solving skills. On the technical side, students improve their understanding of areas such as circuit system analysis, digital and embedded systems, signal processing, communications, power energy systems, and computer hardware software systems, depending on their specializations. For the problem-solving skills, graduate level work emphasizes addressing open-ended problems, breaking complex systems into a manageable management components, evaluating trade-off, and validating solutions through analysis, simulation, or experiments. Students also develop professional skills such as technical communication, teamwork, and independent learning. Those skills are crucial both in research and industry.
That's really great insight. Like it really highlights how the programs are designed to strengthen both technical depth as well as the analytical thinking. So thank you for that. My next question is, how do labs or design projects or even applied or research-based coursework contribute to the graduate learning experience in electrical and computer engineering?
Yeah, the labs and the projects play a very important role in between theory and practice. Laboratory work allows students to test concept learned in the class using real tools, hardware, and software, helping them understand how theoretical models behave in real-world conditions. Design projects push students to integrate knowledge from multiple areas, making engineering decisions and work within practical constraints such as performance, cost, or reliability. For thesis-based students, research-focused coursework and projects help build the foundation needed to conduct independent research work, including modeling, experimental design, and validation. Overall, those are hands-on components ensure that students graduate not only knowing the theory, but also know how to apply it effectively in a real world.
Definitely. I also agree that there is a balance that is needed between theory and hands-on work, which is very important for engineering students. Yeah, so that's really helpful to hear. My next question is, for students considering the Barry campus, what unique learning opportunities or facilities does Barry offer for electrical and computer engineering graduate students?
The Barry STEM Hub actually offers very unique learning environment, largely because it is a newly developed program. Students will benefit from renovated facilities once the new building is available, including modern laboratory spaces designed to support hands-on learning and applied work in electrical and computer engineering. Another key advantage is small classes, particularly in the early years of the program, which allow for closer interaction with faculty and easier access to lab resources. Although the program is new, it is supported by strong faculty expertise. These include attribute fellow in power systems, as well as the faculty members working in areas such as antenna design, 6G communications, power system security, and optical communication systems. Together, the combination of new facility, new lab spaces, strong faculty support, and small class sizes create a focused and supportive environment for graduate study in Barry STEM Hub.
Yeah, that's a really great perspective, and I agree, like Barry STEM Hub is going to be the new technical hub that is there for engineering students in Ontario, Canada. My next question is, what type of career paths do graduates from this program commonly pursue after completing their degree?
So graduates from electrical and computer engineering master program pursue a wide range of their career paths. So many go to the industry as a design, development, or system engineers in areas such as microelectronics, communications, embedded systems, software development, energy system, and automation. Others work in roles related to testing, validating, or product development, or technical measurement. Students from thesis-based program or option may also pursue research-oriented careers, including positions in R&D labs, advanced technology companies, or further study graduate study at the doctorate level. So in summary, the student from our program has very wide range career opportunities.
Thank you so much for that answer. My final question to you is, which is I think the audience today is going to really be excited for is what should students consider when deciding whether electrical and computer engineering is the right graduate path for them?
So students should consider their interest and career goals first. Electrical and computer engineering is a good fit for those who enjoy problem solving, working with technology, and understanding how complex systems function. They should also think about whether they prefer research-focused experience or a more structured course-based path, as this will affect which program option is most appropriate for them. Often students who are very curious, self-motivated, and interested in applying engineering principles to real-world challenges tend to find electrical and computer engineering a suitable path.
Thank you so much for that excellent advice. And I would like to thank you again for sharing your insights with us today, Dr. Zoe. So, this conversation is going to really give a clear picture of what students can expect from graduate studies in electrical and computer engineering at Lakehead University. So thank you again for joining us.
Thank you.
And then we'll be moving on to our next segment now. So hello, everyone. Today we'll be exploring graduate studies in mechanical engineering. This is a field that continues to shape innovation across industries from advanced manufacturing to energy systems and sustainable design. And I'm delighted to be joined by Dr. Ali Taruk today. He is an associate professor in mechanical and mechatronics engineering at Lakehead University. So Dr. Taruk, I would let you, introduce yourself or say a few words.
Hi, thank you very much for your invitation. My name is Ali Tarok. I'm Associate Professor of Mechanical Engineering, Lakehead University, and also graduate coordinator for a master program in mechanical engineering. And I'm here to answer the questions.
It's great to have you with us. So let's just jump in and help our audience understand what makes mechanical engineering at Lakehead stand out. So Dr. Tarok, at a high level, how would you describe Lakehead's graduate mechanical engineering programs to prospective students?
Yeah, so at Lakehead University, we design a Master of Engineering and Mechanical Engineering with the high quality, with a focus on high quality research training, and try to improve personalized supervision. And we always look at the practical engineering experience. We want to improve these skills in our graduates when they leave the university and when they get their degrees.
Thank you for that overview. That really helps set the stage and give students a sense of what they can expect. Can you also give us a brief overview of mechanical engineering graduate program options and how they differ in focus or structure?
Now, at Lakehead University, Faculty of Engineering, all departments, including mechanical and mechatronics engineering, we have two streams. The first stream is course-based Master of Engineering, where the nature of this branch is mainly course-based, and we prepare the students for advanced engineering job position in industry. And mainly they need to, when they join, they need to pass some courses while they get some skills on writing reports and developing the high-level engineering technical reports. The other branch is called the Master of Science in Mechanical Engineering, thesis-based. We call it thesis-based option. This is research-intensive option that students, beside their coursework, they have to work on their thesis. For these type of students, mainly they are thinking to continue their work or their education as a PhD student, or they like to join research centers and work as R&D member in the research groups. So we have these two settings for the interested students if they want to join Lakehead University.
Thank you so much for that comparison. To just ask you something based out of students. So what kind of technical or problem-solving skills do students typically develop through these programs?
So, we want to train our students to develop some kind of a strong mix of advanced technical experience and a high level of problem solving skills. We want them to learn advanced engineering analysis, not only at the level of, when you get your degree in the bachelor level, you know to solve the problem that is solved before, or the procedure to solve the problem is invented somewhere else. But in the master level, the students will be faced with some sort of problem that we call the open-ended problem. We do not know the answer, and also we do not know even the procedure to get the answer. So they need to improve their engineering analysis skills to be able to see different aspects of the problem, come up with the method to solve the problem, and get the correct solution for that. Through that way, we have different tools. We introduce different tools like computational tools, experiment, that they later can use to develop these procedures to get the answers. And they will be directly working with depends on the field of research and work with experimental apparatus and also engineering softwares to improve their skills when they join any group, research or industry, doesn't matter. They should have some skills, some tools that they can use to go ahead and, apply the rules where they are. One of the most important thing is they need to be independent problem solvers when they are graduated. This means they're going to be, most of the time, with master and PhD, they will be ahead of the groups, and different engineers and technologies, they will work under their supervision. So they are the persons in the group that they understand the problem. They creatively prepare the procedure to get the solution, and they go ahead with that, with putting the people in the correct role to get the project done. So in general, we try to have a person with all of these skills, like tackle the unfamiliar problem, complex engineering problems, work on a complex engineering problem independently and get the solution.
That's excellent advice and insight. Like it really highlights how students build both technical depth as well as the analytical skills that is needed to tackle these complex engineering challenges. So that's really good. Thank you so much for that. My next question is, how do labs or projects or applied or research-based coursework contribute to the graduate learning experience?
It's very important. We are engineers. A difference between engineering and science is we want to make things, we want to build things, we want to apply the project. So just learning the theory at the university will not be sufficient for the graduates. And when they want to go out, they need to put their hands on the real experience and experiments. So at the university, we developed the labs to give the opportunity to the students while when they learn theory, they will see how they can apply the theory in the real application as well. So we have generally two types of labs. The type one is when the students go in the lab, do the measurement and do the experiment. And the other one is some sort of computational lab when students go there and start working with computers, developing model, and those kinds of similar things, which are very popular these days. So in both cases, we want students to be able to connect theory with and a real product. It can be apparatus, it can be some result out of the apparatus, or it can be a software come out of the computer programming and simulations.
I agree with that completely. Like that hands-on experience is especially important in engineering. My final question to you is, what type of career paths do graduates from mechanical engineering programs commonly pursue after completing their degree?
That's a very, very good question. We based on the interest of different students, they have different path. Many of our graduates join industry. They like to work with industry. They want to go join the companies. Most of them working with R&D level, research and development. They help a company to develop new pathways, new product, assessing the designs, and actually assess the performance of company. I can give you some idea about these companies like energy and manufacturing, like aerospace, HVAC, building systems, mining, process. Mechanical engineering is a very wide, give the very wide skills to the students. Then they can tune themselves based on the courses they pass, their interest in different topics in the program. They can select one of these paths. For example, if they like fluid mechanics, they may go for aerospace engineering, or if they are like mainly solid mechanics, they can go for structural and machine design. So it depends on which path they want. These are the industry pathways. But also, if they like to continue their career as pursue their education to the PhD, so after that they can go continue their PhD, and then after PhD they can again join the research group as a top head and or join the university as a professors. But these are different options that we can actually students will have if they get the master's from Lakehead University. If I want to give you some example, I graduate from my research group in master. One of them is a senior researcher after 3 or 4 years working with one of the companies in Edmonton, Canada. The other one works with Hatch in Sudbury. I have a PhD student who is instructor, PhD graduate, who is instructor at SAIT in Calgary, and the others are coming to our other places.
That's very encouraging to hear for prospective students. It shows the versatility of mechanical engineering degree and the range of industries that they can step into. So that's really good to hear. So thank you so much, Dr. Tarok, for sharing your insights with us today. I'm sure this conversation has provided a clear look into what students can expect from graduate mechanical engineering at Lakehead University. So thank you so much for joining us again.
Thank you very much for your time.
So hopefully that was really helpful to know more about the in-depth, in-demand programs that we offer and hearing it from our faculty members directly. So now we'll be moving into our Q&A session. We have already answered a lot of your very important questions, but if you still have any questions before we wrap up, now would be the time to just add it on the Q&A box below, and then I'll be able to either help you live or just answer it on the chat. Okay, so since there are no more questions, I'll just try to wrap up today's session and move on. So that just brings us to the end of today's session. Thank you so much for joining us today. If you have any questions or just want to connect further with us, we are there on our social media channels. We are there on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube under Lakehead International. So just give us a follow and you'll be able to understand more about the upcoming events, know more about scholarship, any kind of on the campus life, the student life in general. It is a great way to stay in the loop. We really hope to see you at one of our next live webinars, and even more, we'd love to welcome you on campus as a Lakehead student someday. So thank you so much for joining us again, and then I will see you in the next session. Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comment section below. You can connect with us on social media. You can find us at Lakehead International on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. We hope to see you in our next live webinar. Bye for now.